Hey up YouTube, quick intro. I'm going to run you through what we're going to do. So we're going to plant the seed tape that we made, providing it hasn't gummed itself up because it's squished itself down a little bit, but want to get that in the ground. It doesn't keep very long. If you're interested in knowing how that's made, there'll be a little thingy up here that'll take you to that video. It's proved really popular. I hope you guys give it a go. It's worth a shot, isn't it? We're going to be putting some suspended shelving in the polytunnel today. We're going to be sowing some Physalis seeds. It's a little bit early, but I'm going to sow them and take them home because I brought all my sowing stuff down here. In the grand scheme of things, it's actually easier. I'm going to be taking some samples of soil. I'm going to start getting the stuff ready for the soil testing video, which is going to be a bite size, so there'll be a sort of a clip together of all the bits and pieces, but also in these Sunday episodes you're going to see me doing it sort of step by step, so that's there for you to follow along on. What else have we got to do today? Storm Kira obviously has blown through. It's blown my fence over, luckily, and I'm edging my bets here. That was me knocking on wood. Polytunnel survived yet another storm. I'm really blown away. I didn't think it was going to, so I'm happy about that. There is something I'd like to discuss with you guys at some point about the next big project I wanted to do. I'm not sure. But yeah, we're going to be doing soil testing, suspended shelving. We're going to plant the carrot seed tape in the polytunnel. We're going to be planting some Physalis seeds, some caped gooseberry. That's my contribution to the unusual seed challenge. Becky, I hunted high and low. I wanted to do peanuts, but I couldn't find. There's a lot of people that say you can just plant monkey nuts, but apparently the monkey nuts you can buy for the most part over here are not made for human consumption. They're made for animal feeds, like birdseed. So I didn't want to grow that, so we've gone with Physalis. It's not particularly unusual. It's the caped gooseberry, but we're going to be putting them in today, so follow along with that. But aside from that, guys, that's pretty much it today. It's a bit of a short trip down here today, but it's a lot of little bits, a lot of little prep bits. It's February. These are the sort of things that you need to be doing. You need to be getting ready with what we're ramping up to the season now. Another month or two, we're going to be planting stuff in the soil, so you need to be getting ready. So without further ado, guys, I'm going to get out there. I'm going to ask you, please like and subscribe the videos. Please share the videos. It's a massive help. If I can get to 1,000 subscribers, I mean, we've had a massive boost in this last couple of weeks. And I do hate asking. It's not something I enjoy doing, but if we get to 1,000 subs, it's not about the monetization. It's about me getting more tools to produce content. YouTube unlocks certain things at certain subscriber levels, 1,000 being the big one really. It makes live streams easy. I can send out notifications easy. We get the community boards, the chat boards, things like that. So, you know, please subscribe. Please remember that we are a hobbyist channel. We're not just a gardening channel. We do other things as well. So like I do DIY and gardening. There's Malice scale models, things like that. So please, if you see a video that's not particularly up your alley, don't click off. Just remember, we do several things here on the shed. You'll be able to tell it's from the shed because we try and sort of have a standard type of intro and a standard type of logo. So, you know, please bear that in mind. So without further ado, guys, I'm going to get out there. I'm going to get on the garden. I'm going to get the jobs done, and then we'll probably come back in here for some seed sowing, and then, like I say, I'm going to take those home, pop them on the windowsill. So I'll see you in a bit. Good morning, YouTube. guys, I mean, hopefully I got most of that in frame. There you go. Raised up and off my beds. Now, I don't know how carefully you have to load them up, whether you have to load them up, I'm assuming, with some degree of equilibrium. But we'll load this one up. As I said before, I might be running the risk of all this lot falling off. With Storm Dennis on the way, but we'll see. That side higher than that side a little bit. Shouldn't be a problem. To be honest, it quite surprises me when you have a female storm and then a male storm together. Take for example in this instance Kira and Dennis. Surprises me that Dennis didn't turn up early, smash Kira's back doors in, you know, blow his load all over the place, and then leave before Kira was finished. I don't know. But this is probably actually going to be too rich. I've not grown anything in this. This compost, it's pure compost all the way down. It was designed as a carrot bed. As you can see, I mean, lovely pure compost, but in an ideal world actually what I should have done is grown something in this bed last summer. It's actually still moist, which is nice, which would have taken out some of the nutrients, because carrots like a bit of rough. They like to have to go looking for their food and water. That's what causes you to get a nice long single root. Now like I said, this is going to be probably a little on the rich side, so I might get some forking and some splitting. Look guys, so this is mainly about how to plant this here seed type, and it really is as simple as that. That's my carrots planted. All I need to do is good old watering in. Give it a good watering. Just remember you have the paper to soak. I saw this other tape. I need to remember actually. I thought my table at home was about the right size. It's a little bit shorter than I needed, but I'm quite impressed actually. I thought this was all going to stick together, and whilst it has a little bit, it's coming apart, as you can see, quite easily. So yeah, that sort of 5-10 minutes of making this seed tape should save me a whole wealth of thinning and other things like that a lot of us just don't have time to do. You could, I suppose, leave this seed tape on the surface if you really wanted to. That's what I'm doing in there. But I don't want to. Put it to bed. But that's it, guys. That's 20 odd. What did we say? 20 odd carrots sown in 2 minutes. How easy is that? Give this bed a good soak with rainwater. I always try and use rainwater on my seedlings. and that's it. How easy was that compared to spraying, opening a packet, trying to carefully sprinkle them out, blah blah blah. 10 minutes at home, 2 minutes here, carrots sown. So, okay guys, so got my usual 12 cell seed cells. I think they're about 1 inch by 1 inch. I'm assuming you can see this. Yeah, you can. All we're going to do, same as any other seed, you know, there's nothing special. Correct me if I'm wrong, I know somebody will. But this is Physalis. It is called Capes, or its common name is Cape gooseberry. And what it is it's, if you've ever been to a restaurant and you got a little, what looked like a little posh tomato in a little paper lantern sort of looking thing, that's what these guys are. That's the seeds. I got these from Premier. Get it to focus, come on, focus. I think that's focus. I got these from Premier Seeds. Couldn't get them from Grow Seed. They didn't have any. Otherwise, I would have done. So, I like their product. I like their products. All I'm going to do is general multi-purpose compost. So I'm going to leave a tray here and a tray in the. I'm going to take a tray home and put it on the windowsill. I think the tray here isn't really going to come to much, but we'll see. It's going to be too cold. It might eventually come up, and what it might do. The reason I'm planting plenty is because I know full well I'm going to have some family members that are going to want some of these, and also I think, as I've said many times, or a couple of times, I take things like my chili seeds. I mean, I've grown like nearly 40 plants. I only want maybe half a dozen. But there's friends, family, you know, people always want, especially the super hots. People like the idea of growing super hots. They may not eat them, but also to help me cover the costs, because I'm not a rich man and I don't get any money for doing this, and I'm a young lad with young person's money playing an old person's game of allotmenting. It you know, it does require, or it can, if you let it, swallow up a lot of money. So you have to be careful. Now I'm going to try, these seeds are tiny, and put 1 to 2 seeds per cell. Some are getting more, not overly concerned, but I don't know what germination's like on this stuff, so I'm trying to do sort of 1 to 2. I'm not too bothered if I get 1, not too bothered if I put 3 in. That one's got 4, and then we'll cover it over, water them in. That's how I'm going to put a tray at home on my windowsill. And keep a tray here. So these will go in my seed tray thing, would you get? So I'm a bit early planting them, so I'm not overly concerned. You know, if they go leggy, I'll pot them up. If they don't go leggy, if they're quite happy, grand. If they fail, I'll sow some more. You know me, guys. Whilst I'm not an advocate of wasting money, I am an advocate of trying new things and breaking from the norm. I think normal is or can be boring. So I like to try things that perhaps you shouldn't do, just, you know, to see what happens. So I'm going to label these up, I'm going to water them in, same as you do for any other seed. And then, like I say, I'm going to take one tray home, one tray here. So guys, let me do the do. So guys, that is going to be it from me today. And say it is a short one, but I don't see much point in doing anything down here. I'm going to sort of feed and water the chickens before I go home, but that's going to be it from me today. Real short one. There's not really much sowing to do this now. You know, if you've already put your brassicas in, things like that, I'm not going to be sowing my tomatoes, and it's going to be at least another 3 to 4 weeks before I do. I'm not growing any cucumbers, so don't. Oh, did we decide to grow? No, I am growing now, thanks to Jerry. I'm growing some market malls, but once again, they'll go in roughly about the same time as my tomatoes. I'm not worried about an early crop. I'm not starting with peas. Obviously my broad beans are out, things like that. But aside from that, guys, there's not a great deal. It's all prep work. In fact, that's not it from me today, is it? I need to get out there and dig up some soil. So we'll go back out and do that, and then I'll do my outro. Right guys, so soil sampling. Don't take it from the surface. Now that's not where your plants are getting, are going for the nutrients. So we dig down a little bit, generally about a foot. And what you want is about a quarter jar's worth. I mean, actually, if you get the soil tester I have, it's 1 part soil to 2 parts water. So that's, in fact, I want about a third of a jar's worth. Much. Got a wormy friend in there, or I had a wormy friend in there, but got him out. Here's that. So about a third of a jar's worth. And all I'm going to do is top it with rainwater. Normally, in an ideal world, you'd use distilled water, but I don't have that. So try not to use tap water if you can help it. Now fill that up with rainwater, give it a good shake, break down all the solids. That's actually breaking down quite nicely. Better if I had a nicer seal on the lid, but it'll do. Good shake. And then all you're going to do is you're going to leave that. Now my soil takes about 2 weeks, but you're going to leave that to settle back out. So I'll pop it back in the shed. You leave it to settle back out, and we'll revisit it once it's settled out. So that is it, guys. That's all from me today. I've already kind of done my outro, so I'm going to leave you with the image of me shaking a jam jar, and I'll see you on Wednesday in Bite Size.